A hush fell over the Galactic Council. Beings representing dozens of planets had gathered in a grand hall, ceasing their discussions and focusing on the council president standing at the high podium. The president began to speak in a calm and determined voice. The council's decision is final. In the name of universal peace, all wars will cease immediately. We declare a ceasefire. These words echoed through the hall, eliciting various reactions. Many representatives breathed a sigh of relief, while the human representative standing in a corner stepped forward with a smile on his face. "President, we hold the highest respect for you and the council," said the human representative, Marcus. "But we humans have only just begun." The council members looked at each other in astonishment. Marcus continued slowly. "For us, this war is not just a conflict. It is a struggle for our existence, our identity, and our freedom. We will not stop until we have secured our place in this galaxy." The president took a deep breath and fixed his eyes on Marcus. "Marcus, we understand humanity's commitment to this war. However, this path only brings more destruction and suffering." Marcus nodded with determination in his eyes. "We deserve to be part of the galaxy and to be respected. If we cannot win this war, our existence will be threatened. Therefore, a ceasefire is not an option for us." A murmur rose in the hall. Many representatives were trying to comprehend humanity's resolve. Marcus took a few steps towards the council president and added, "It's not that we don't want peace, but this peace cannot threaten our freedom and dignity." The president fell into deep thought. Marcus's words reflected the resilience and determination of humanity. Breaking the silence, the president said, "We will reconsider this situation. But remember, it takes more than just fighting for peace." Marcus bowed his head respectfully. "We only want what is rightfully ours. If that means war, we are ready for it." As the council meeting adjourned, Marcus left the hall and walked towards the human ship. The silence he left behind demonstrated how determined humans were to secure their place in the galaxy. The Galactic Council would have to understand and show the respect humans deserved. When Marcus boarded his ship, there was hope and determination in his eyes. "We have only just begun," he said to himself, "and this struggle will determine our future." Stepping into the command center, he gave his crew a determined look. "Be prepared," he said. "We do not accept the ceasefire offer. The war will continue." The ship's captain nodded in appreciation of Marcus's resolve. "The entire crew is ready," he said. "Shall we review our war plans?" Marcus opened the holographic battle map and began to examine the details. "Yes, our only way to win this war is by capturing strategic points. We need to control communication networks and energy sources." Pointing to the glowing spots on the map, he continued, "Here, in the Alcon 9 system, there is a major enemy base. If we capture it, we can gain a significant advantage in the galaxy." The captain listened carefully to Marcus's plan and then said, "This operation will be dangerous. But if we succeed, we can completely change the balance of power in the galaxy." Marcus looked into the captain's eyes and replied with determination, "We have to take these risks. Humanity's future depends on it. Inform the entire crew and start preparations immediately." The ship's crew began working feverishly on war preparations. Weapons were checked, strategic plans were made, and everyone's morale was kept high. To motivate the crew, Marcus gave them a brief speech. "Friends," he said loudly, "this war is not just a turning point for us, but for all of humanity. We all want to earn an honorable place in this galaxy, and we are fighting for that. Remember, we have only just begun and we will not stop until we win this struggle." Determination and hope appeared on the faces of the crew. Marcus's words had motivated them and strengthened their belief that they could change the outcome of the war. Once preparations were complete, the human ship set course for the Alcon 9 system. Silence reigned throughout the journey, with everyone focused on their tasks. Excitement and tension filled the ship. As they approached the Alcon 9 system, the density of enemy ships increased. Marcus stood on the ship's bridge and said, "Everyone, take your positions. We're going on the offensive." As the human ship advanced toward enemy lines, they were surrounded by laser beams and explosions. As the intensity of the battle increased, Marcus and his crew began to achieve their strategic objectives one by one. As they advanced towards the enemy base, they had to overcome strong defense systems. While Marcus issued encouraging commands to the crew, the ship's weapon systems neutralized enemy ships one by one. Finally, they managed to reach the enemy base. After intense attacks on the base, the enemy defenses collapsed, and the humans took control of the base. Once they had control of the base, Marcus turned to the crew and said, "We did it. This victory is the result of our determination and courage. We will not stop until we secure our place in this galaxy." This victory strengthened humanity's position in the galaxy and gave them new hope. However, Marcus and his crew knew that tougher battles lay ahead. But they were more determined than ever. The Galactic Council had begun to better understand humanity's resolve and strength. Humanity's war was turning into a struggle that would change the balance not only in the galaxy but in the entire universe. Marcus stood on the bridge of the ship, looking into the vast emptiness of the galaxy, and thought to himself, "This is just the beginning." On the return journey, Marcus was called by the ship's communications officer. "Commander, there's an urgent message from the Galactic Council." Marcus quickly reviewed the message handed to him by the officer. The message was clear. Since the ceasefire was not accepted, the Galactic Council considers humans a threat. Due to the attack on the enemy base, Council forces have mobilized. As he read the message, Marcus frowned. "The Council has also moved against us," he said. "This means we will be fighting not only the enemy but also the Council." The ship's captain looked at Marcus with concern. "How will we deal with both Council and enemy forces?" Marcus replied in a determined voice, "By using our strategic intelligence and courage. We all want to live freely in this galaxy. We will give everything we have to win this war." The ship's radar systems detected approaching Council ships. Marcus conducted an emergency briefing for the crew. "We are going to engage Council forces. Everyone, take battle positions and activate all weapon systems." The ship's alarm sounded, and the crew quickly moved into battle positions. As Marcus watched the approaching Council ships on the bridge screens, he said, "Be ready. We will show them the strength of humanity." As the Council ships began to surround the human ship, the battle commenced. Laser beams and energy blasts lit up the emptiness of space. Marcus issued strategic commands, directing his ship into defensive and offensive positions. A Council ship dangerously approached the human ship. Marcus ordered, "Strengthen the defensive shields and initiate counterattack." The ship's weapons fired intensely at the enemy ship, neutralizing it. But the Council ships were numerous, and the humans had to contend with both enemy and Council forces. To motivate his crew, Marcus spoke, "This is a tough battle, but we can overcome it if we work together. We are fighting for the future of humanity." As another Council ship tried to sneak up behind the human ship, Marcus acted quickly. "Perform a reverse maneuver and target the enemy behind us," he said. The ship swiftly turned, targeted the enemy, and successfully neutralized it. As the battle raged on, Marcus's commands and the crew's bravery led to the neutralization of many Council ships. However, the enemy forces were not idle either. Marcus's ship had taken heavy damage, and some crew members were injured. Marcus turned to the captain. "Send an emergency repair team to protect our energy sources. The only way we can win this battle is by defending strategic points and weakening the enemy forces." While the repair teams rushed to the critical areas of the ship, Marcus and the captain closely monitored the progress of the battle. "We will succeed," Marcus said determinedly. Inside the ship, as the intensity of the battle increased, Marcus encountered an enemy soldier advancing through the lines. The enemy troops had infiltrated the ship and confronted Marcus. A duel ensued. Marcus deftly deflected the enemy's attacks while executing his own counterattacks. The enemy soldier was quick and agile, but Marcus's determination and experience were overwhelming. After a few maneuvers, Marcus neutralized the enemy. In other parts of the ship, the crew was also engaging in one-on-one combat with the enemy. Each of them showed courage and skill as they fought for the future of humanity. Returning to the bridge, Marcus said, "Everyone did a great job. We will win this war." By the end of the battle, the human ship had managed to repel both the Council and enemy forces. However, this victory highlighted the greater challenges that lay ahead. "Looking into the vast emptiness of the galaxy," Marcus said, "we've only just begun, and this struggle will determine our future." As the human ship left the Alcon 9 system, the remnants of Council forces and enemy ships were scattered in the void of space. Marcus, advancing into the depths of the galaxy, had never lost his determination and faith. This war was for the freedom and honor of humanity, and Marcus was proud to lead this struggle. The hope and courage shining in his eyes continued to inspire his crew. However, Marcus knew this was just the beginning. Greater and more difficult battles lay ahead, but humanity would continue to fight to secure their place in this galaxy. No matter how strong the Galactic Council and enemy forces were, humans, with their determination and courage, would achieve victory in this war. The human ship had taken heavy damage from the attacks of both the Council and enemy forces. As explosions rocked the ship, Marcus and his crew continued to fight. However, the enemy density increased with each passing minute. While giving encouraging commands to the crew, another explosion was heard, and part of the bridge collapsed. Thrown by the force of the explosion, Marcus fell to the ground, injured. The captain immediately ran to his side, asking, "Commander Marcus, are you all right?" Breathing painfully, Marcus said, "You must continue. You must win this war. Let John take over." The captain looked sorrowfully at Marcus's injured body as the ship's second-in-command, John, stepped onto the bridge. "Awaiting your orders, Captain," he said resolutely. The captain nodded at John. "John, you're taking Marcus's place. We must win this war." John quickly assessed the situation. "Our energy resources are depleted, and our shields are weakened. We are surrounded by enemy forces and council ships. We must execute a strategic retreat." The captain approved John's plan, saying, "Send repair teams for emergency repairs. Keep the weapon systems active and put the entire crew in battle positions." John swiftly issued orders to the teams on the bridge. "Repair teams, go to critical areas and minimize the damage. Keep the weapon systems firing continuously. Initiate the strategic retreat plan." The ship maneuvered under heavy fire from the enemy and council forces, trying to retreat to a safer zone. Amidst explosions and energy blasts, the crew continued to resist under John's leadership. A council ship had approached dangerously close to the human ship. John ordered, "Direct all weapons to that ship." Under intense fire, the council ship finally exploded. However, the enemy forces became more aggressive, noticing the human ship's retreat. John assessed the situation and decided on a plan. "Our shields are weak, but if we sabotage the enemy's communication networks, they won't be able to coordinate their attacks." The captain approved John's plan, saying, "Communications officer, try to sabotage the enemy ship's communication networks." The communications officer quickly got to work and soon managed to disrupt the enemy ship's communication systems. This bought the human ship some time. The enemy ships could not sustain their attacks due to the lack of coordination. However, the council ships were still strong and continued their assaults. John turned to the crew. "We must seize this opportunity. Redirect all energy to the weapon systems and launch an intense attack on the council ships." The ship gathered all its strength and fired intensely at the council ships. Amidst explosions and energy blasts, many council ships were neutralized. However, the enemy forces were also quickly regrouping. John turned to the captain and said, "We must put everything on the line to win this war. With the crew's courage and determination, we can overcome this tough situation." The captain, appreciating John's determination, said, "We all want to live freely in this galaxy. We must win this war." Inside the ship, as the intensity of the battle increased, the crew fought bravely against enemy lines. John gave morale-boosting commands to each crew member while strategically pushing back the enemy and council forces. By the end of the battle, the human ship had resisted both enemy and council forces, finding a new glimmer of hope in the vast emptiness of the galaxy. John and his crew continued the fight, unwavering in their belief that they would win this difficult war for the future of humanity. As the repair teams hurried to fix heavily damaged areas, John made a motivational speech to the crew. "Friends, great tasks await each of us to win this war. We are all fighting for humanity, and this struggle will determine our place in the galaxy." Hope and determination once again appeared on the faces of the crew. Under John's leadership, the human ship continued to resist both the enemy and the council forces. No matter how strong the Galactic Council and enemy forces were, humans would win this war with their determination and courage. The human ship had taken heavy damage and was in a difficult situation under the attacks of both enemy and council forces. As the crew continued to fight with their last strength, A ship was detected approaching on the bridge's screens. John looked carefully at the screen and tried to identify the ship. "This ship doesn't belong to the enemy forces," he said. "It's coming from a different species." The captain looked at the screen with curiosity. Who could this be? As the ship approached the human ship, a communication request was received. John opened the communication and said, "State who you are and what you want." On the screen, a representative of an alien species that had previously suffered at the hands of the enemy forces appeared. Tall and slender with large eyes, these aliens began to speak with a friendly expression. "We are the Zenters," the representative said. "We have suffered greatly from the attacks of the enemy forces and now wish to resist their tyranny. We are here to help you." John looked at the representative in surprise. "Why are you helping us?" The Zentar representative replied, "The power of the enemy forces is spreading across the galaxy. If we cannot stop them, we are all in danger. The courage and determination of humans have rekindled our hope. By working together, we can win this war." The captain turned to John and said, "This could change the course of the war. We should cooperate with them." John looked at the representative and said, "We are grateful for your help. Together, we can push back the enemy forces and the council ships." The Zentar representative nodded. "Our ships know the weak points of the enemy forces. We can launch strategic attacks against them." John immediately took action. "Okay, let's coordinate with the Zentar ships and launch a joint attack against the enemy forces." The Zentar ships, standing side by side with the human ship, began to launch strategic attacks against the enemy forces. Targeting the weak points of the enemy ships, they neutralized them one by one. Watching the situation from the bridge, John thought, "This is working. We are stronger together." The council ships had also noticed this unexpected alliance and intensified their attacks. John, giving morale-boosting commands to the crew, said, "By working together with the Zenters, we will win this war." Another explosion was heard, and John turned to the communications officer. "Send a message to the Zentar ships. We need to increase our coordination and completely neutralize the enemy." The communications officer worked quickly, establishing coordination with the Zentar ships. The joint attacks were pushing back the enemy and council forces. However, the intensity of the battle was still high. John saw on the bridge screens that a council ship was approaching dangerously close. "We must stop that council ship," he ordered. "Direct all weapons to it." Gathering all its strength, the ship opened intense fire on the council ship. The Zentar ships also focused on the same target, neutralizing the council ship. This had demoralized the enemy forces and weakened their attacks. John communicated with the Zentar representative, asking, "Thanks to these strategic attacks, we can push back the enemy. Can you send more ships?" The Zentar representative replied, "Yes, more ships are on their way." As the Zentar ships helped the human ship push back the enemy forces, the tide of the battle was turning. John turned to the crew on the bridge. "This victory will be possible thanks to our determination and courage," he said. "We are fighting for humanity, and we will not stop until we secure our place in this galaxy." Hope and determination appeared on the faces of the crew. Their belief in winning the war against both enemy and council forces had strengthened by working together with the Zenters. John turned to the captain and said, "This war will be a turning point not only for us but for the entire galaxy." The captain nodded, appreciating John's determination. By the end of the battle, the human and Zentar forces had managed to push back the enemy and council ships. This victory strengthened their position in the galaxy and gave them new hope. John and his crew would continue to fight for the future of humanity. As the intensity of the battle increased, the human and Zentar forces were gaining superiority over the enemy ships. Amidst explosions and energy blasts, the ships advanced towards enemy lines, with John and the Zentar representative working in close coordination. John turned to the crew on the bridge. "This is our chance. We're going to launch an attack together with the Zentar ships and completely neutralize the enemy forces," he said. The captain, studying the strategic map, ordered, "Maximize all weapon systems. Strengthen our shields and focus on the enemy ships." The Zentar representative turned to John and said, "We have identified the weak points of the enemy ships. We will attack targeting those." John nodded. "Understood. All crew, prepare to attack with the Zentar ships. We will win this battle." As the ships advanced towards the enemy lines, the enemy forces began to retreat in panic. The Centaur ships focused on the weak points of the enemy ships, rendering them ineffective. Under John's leadership, the human ships also pierced through the enemy lines with intense fire. An enemy ship approached the human ship and opened intense fire. John immediately commanded, "Direct all weapons to that ship." The human ship unleashed intense fire on the enemy ship, causing it to explode. The captain looked at John and said, "It's working. We're pushing back the enemy." However, the battle was not over yet. The council ships, observing the success of the human and Centaur forces, decided to join the battle. A council ship approached the human ship and requested communication. John opened the communication. "Identify yourselves," he said. On the screen, a council representative appeared. "I am Council Member Lorien. We have seen the courage and determination of humans and Centaurs. We have decided to support you in this battle." John looked at the council member in surprise. "This could change the course of the war," he said. "By working together, we can completely neutralize the enemy forces." Lorien nodded. "Council ships will fight alongside you against the enemy forces. We will launch strategic attacks to completely destroy the enemy." John turned to the crew. "Council ships are joining us. This will provide a significant advantage against the enemy," he said. "Everyone, prepare. We're launching a major attack." Human, Centaur, and council ships launched a massive attack against the enemy forces. Amidst explosions and energy bursts in the void of space, the ships advanced towards the enemy lines, causing the enemy ships to retreat in panic. Watching the situation from the bridge, John commanded, "Fire with full force. We must win this battle." A council ship fired intense shots at an enemy ship, causing it to explode. Centaur ships targeted the weak points of the enemy ships, rendering them ineffective. Human ships also pierced through the enemy lines with intense fire. John nodded with determination. "This battle will determine our place in the galaxy," he said. "Together, we are stronger, and this victory will be a testament to our determination." By the end of the battle, the human, Centaur, and council forces had completely neutralized the enemy ships, achieving a great victory. As remnants of the enemy forces scattered in the void of space, John and his crew celebrated the joy of this victory. John turned to the crew on the bridge. "This victory was possible because of our determination and courage," he said. "We fought for the freedom to live freely in this galaxy, and we have won." The Centaur representative thanked John, saying, "By working together, we have defeated the enemy. This will strengthen our position in the galaxy." Council member Lorien turned to John, saying, "This victory has strengthened our belief in humanity. In the future, by working together, we will bring peace and justice to the galaxy." John nodded proudly. "This solidifies our place in the galaxy." As the human ship, alongside Centaur and council ships, continued to move deeper into the galaxy, John and his crew felt the pride of their victory. Despite the strength of the Galactic Council and enemy forces, humans had emerged victorious in this battle through their determination and courage. And in the future, united in solidarity, they would continue to strive for peace and freedom in the galaxy. Deep within the depths of the galaxy after the battle, human, Centaur, and council ships sailed together. While the joy of victory was still fresh, John's thoughts turned to Marcus' situation. The captain spoke to John with a serious tone. "Marcus will be judged for opposing the council. What should we do?" John pondered thoughtfully. Marcus was right to oppose. But the council members have seen our cooperation in this battle. We need to gain their support. The Centaur representative offered, "I can communicate with the council members. I will inform them about Marcus' situation." The captain decided, "Then do it. We must ensure Marcus receives a fair trial." The Centaur representative initiated communication with the council members and explained Marcus' situation. Considering the determination and courage shown by humans in the battle, the council members agreed to ensure Marcus receives a fair trial. After discussions with the council members, a time and place for Marcus' trial were determined. John assured Marcus of his support. "I know you were right. Our unity and solidarity shown in this battle will convince the council members." On the day of the trial, John, Marcus, and the captain stood before the council members. Marcus spoke boldly, "I opposed the council's wrong policies because I wanted to uphold peace and justice. Our unity shown in this battle has been a beacon of hope for the galaxy. Do not extinguish this hope." The council members listened carefully to Marcus' words. John and the crew openly expressed their support. The Xentar representative also joined in supporting Marcus' defense. In the end, the council members stood with Marcus. "We are grateful for the determination and justice you have shown in this battle," they said. Marcus was released with the support of the council members, fostering a friendship and cooperation among human, Xentar, and council forces. Marcus' fight for justice and the victory achieved together by human, Xentar, and council forces marked a hopeful beginning for the future of the galaxy. Together, by eliminating fierce enemies and keeping the galaxy united in peace, they continued to build a future for humans and other alien species.